I want to talk to you today about health and exercise. So sit back, dial up the volume, and just listen to my voice. Welcome. Hello, and I'm glad you're here. I really am. If you didn't know already, I do have a website, and I have some, or if I don't have it right now, I will have some audio-only versions that you can listen to without interruption from adverts and things like that. And just go to my website. All right, so I'm glad you're here. I've missed you. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you enjoyed the sunshine where you are, assuming that the sun's shining. And I'm just telling you, I'm really happy. Just a bit of a catch-up with me. I'm really, really happy at the moment. Things are going really well. I'm getting out and about a bit more, doing more stuff, connecting to a lot more people. So yeah, my life's really good at the moment. And I hope your life is going well at the moment too. The sun's out, we're coming into summertime. Generally, people have better weather where they are. And there's a lot more happy times. And in the darker parts of the UK, it's nice to have longer sunshine and more predictable weather. So that's really good. And I hope things are going well with you. All right, like I just said at the beginning, health and exercise. So if I can talk to you first about exercise. Everybody has their own viewpoint, their own idea of exercise. It's really interesting that we all feel that we must do it. And it's kind of like a religion, almost like a cult religion. What gym do you go to? What exercise class do you do? Are you improving your muscles? Are you losing weight? Are you getting a smaller waist? Are you faster and stronger? It's a very big deal for a lot of people. Like I said, it's kind of like a cult, like a religion. People are very actively asking people questions about how they're doing it for them. But I believe that exercise is much more personal. A lot of people don't want to do exercise at all. And I was one of those people. I hold my hands up, literally. I was one of those people. Exercise to me was a fad that everybody was jumping on the bandwagon, to outshine their friends and their competitors and saying, oh yeah, I've lost loads of weight. Oh, I've done this. Just something to brag about, to try and make themselves feel better in front of other people. Oh yeah, I go to the gym 5 times a day, 5 times a week, 5 times a year, whatever. They'd want to tell you how many times they go and how impressive they are with their regime, their regiment, and their whole ethos of I work out in the morning, I work out, and then I do my legs, and then I do my shoulders, and I do cardio. Do you do cardio? Some people get really passionate about the exercise and about kind of showing off and their level of commitment to this cult-like religion. Oh yeah. I've got this membership and that membership, and I did it, and it put me off for a long time. I was really sick of hearing about it. I had some relatives and some friends close to me that were just talking about it all the time, and it was kind of like a club. Oh well, gym bros, innit? Gym bros. We're gym buddies. We're connected. We're close, and it was reminiscent of back in the 90s where people would say, "Oh yeah, I'm going out for a cigarette. Do you want to come out? Do you want to come out? Yeah, we're in the cigarette gang at this workplace. Oh right. You're not in this gang, so you won't find out what's going on. We're the cigarette gang." But now it's like the gym gang. A gym rat, a gym bunny. We're the people to go to the gym. Oh yeah. We talk about how much we lift. We talk about protein shakes. We talk about protein shakes. We talk about protein bars. We talk about what great recipes, for protein, and for testosterone. Yeah, you gotta get your testosterone. You gotta get HRH, and you gotta get it. And yeah. It's really proven, isn't it? It's really proven. Yeah, you gotta get this in, and you gotta get that in. And so, oh my god. Oh, like I said, people can be extremely passionate about their culture, about their cult religion of going to the gym, and their full regiment of how they live their life, and they want to share it with you because they're so passionate. They really, really feel they have to tell you the ins and outs, of everything that's happening in their life because they are a gym junkie. And, they've been doing it for this many years, and, okay. Like I said, they can get very, very passionate, and it put me off for a long, long time. I really, really didn't want to get involved with that. It felt like being back at school, and whether or not you were going to get picked to play football, and it's the last two. We better pick one of them. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you can go and goal because you're crap. You can go and goal. Yeah. And it feels like that all over again, would I feel like then there's this pressure that would I be able to keep up with the other guys? Now, I did succumb at one point to going to the gym, and I found a local gym. It was a little bit pricey, but it seemed, on the surface, it seemed like there was a family atmosphere, kind and friendly and warm, welcoming people. And there was a lot of classes where there was like competitions between two groups, and the groups would just be plucked at random. And I was there for probably just a month. I did like 4 or 5 classes. After a while, I realized that again there was this level of competition and judgment. Now, I'm quite a humble individual, and I got broad shoulders, metaphorically speaking. I knew I wasn't as strong as some of these younger men. Now, almost everybody in there was younger than me, but by far everybody was bigger than me. So even though I was on, say, the men's team sometimes, I would often go on the women's teams because they were lifting more than I could. I mean, that felt a little bit demasculating, to be honest, when you see these women lifting a lot more weight than you. And let's just say in our group there was 7. They could all lift more than me. And they weren't all power lifters, weight lifters. They were just women that had been there a while and learnt the technique and slowly built up strength. So everybody kept reassuring me, oh, don't worry about it. You'll get there in the end. You'll get there. It doesn't matter. It just takes time. It takes time. All right? Time and technique. Just relax. Don't worry about it. And I thought, okay. This is still warm and welcoming. And yet, I still didn't feel like I fit in. Now, I think partly that was to do with the level of competition and between the males and females, or between one group, mixed group, and another mixed group, and just that level of competitiveness and that ambition to push harder and harder and harder. And I thought, I can see why so many people have injuries, because you're going as fast as you can to try and beat that other team. And I thought, if you end up with injuries and you push yourself more because you've got the pressure of the team to be better than the other team, then there's that pressure on you to do more than your body and you are comfortable with. And I thought, I feel like I'm pushing myself too quickly to grow too much. And another thing I found out, which maybe I was just completely naive to ignore or not know about, was that you only get bigger and stronger by eating more and more food. Now, I'm not going to mention about the supplements that was talked about, but for me and my frame, I'm sort of 11 stone, maybe 12 stone on a bad day after a dinner. I just couldn't eat the amount of meals that they were talking about. like four or five meals a day. So wow, just trying to get in the amount of protein that I needed as well, because they kept on about protein. And you know, I'm on a specifically more plant-based diet. Trying to get those levels of protein in was very difficult and actually made me feel sick. Trying to eat 2-3 cooked meals a day, it was hard going, and I had to stop and have a think to myself. Thought, do I want to keep eating this amount of food? Do I want to keep pushing myself to this level of competition and this level of pressure to perform and get stronger and faster and better and stronger and faster? And I just kind of like had a headache of this pressure I was putting on myself. And I thought, no, not only is everybody younger than me and bigger than me, I don't really want this amount of pressure, this amount of commitment, this amount of growth, physical growth. So I left that gym and I found another gym that was very, very cheap. And the reason it was very, very cheap was because it was open 24/7. It wasn't family orientated. It was very much more corporate. But they had a really good shower. They had quite a lot of classes. And I go there not to lift weights, because I don't understand the benefit. I go there for yoga. The yoga classes are very cheap, just $2 on top of my monthly gym membership, which I basically got so I can have, multiple showers a week. Because of my nomadic lifestyle, being able to have a gym anywhere in the country for a set price and being able to have a shower anytime I liked was worth the money. I think it was only 24 or 25 pounds, something like that. And then the yoga was only £2 on top, £2 a class. Now in my country, yoga classes are normally between 12 and 17 pounds an hour, sometimes less than an hour. So I was very, very happy to go to a corporate company, but for very cheap yoga classes. And yoga classes, I am very new at, is very, very new to me. I was very worried and concerned about going to yoga class as a man in my late 40s. I didn't know whether it would be full of women, whether I would be, I don't know, look a bit creepy, like an old man staring at the women. I don't know. I had a lot of reservations, let's say. I really took a long time and a lot of courage for me to go on my own to this yoga class. I could have asked a couple of other people to come, but I thought I need to do this on my own. So I've been doing yoga now for a number of months, 6 months, and I actually really, really enjoy it. The people are very nice. There's no competition. You're constantly improving yourself. You're being nice to yourself. You're growing. I'm stretching a lot more. I feel much more flexible. I don't have the back pain I used to have from working as well. So all in all, I'm really happy with the yoga. It's made me feel a good bit younger. And on top of the yoga, I also walk every day, sometimes twice a day. And I'm going to go off this weekend and climb, I think it's Yes Tor, one of the highest peaks in the south of England. I would like to do the 3 peaks at some point. And now, if you've not heard of it, the 3 peaks are like the 3 highest points in the UK. There's one in Scotland, one in North Wales, and one over the other side of England. So they're all quite far away from me, but I'd like to climb these mountains, and I know I need to build up to it first. So tomorrow I'm going to go up to one of these in the southwest, which is a lot lower in height and altitude. And I'm going to give that a go. I think it's like 3 hours, so a little bit daunting for me. 3 hours of walking up a hill. Or is it 3 hours all round? I don't know. Anyway, so I am making my own path, my own way of fitness without feeling I'm beating myself up. I'm not hurting my body, you know. And at some point I'd like to get into calisthenics. Now I want to say I'm fairly fit for my age. I don't have a beer gut because I don't drink alcohol. And that's where we come on to the next part. I'm fairly fit and active. But I don't run anymore. I used to run when I was younger. Building my own path towards exercise and yoga is for me much more individualistic and tailored to my needs. But I've had to find it myself. I have spent money and got a nutritionist to help me with my plant-based diet and my plant-based goals. And that has worked out quite well. I haven't taken on board everything that they suggested, but definitely it's opened up my menu and my repertoire of meals and meal planning and things like this, because that was something I'd not really looked into or understood, something I was quite naive about. So the second part is the health aspect. As you guys probably know, I don't smoke and I don't drink alcohol whatsoever. And I would like to say to you that it's well worth thinking about your health, especially as you get a bit older. Once you get past your 30s, mortality kicks in, and before you know it, you have a handful of people you once knew that are no longer with us. They are dead. Our late friends, they're now dead. And you think, oh God, maybe I'm not going to live forever. Well, what can I do about it? I like living. Living is important to me. I like living. It's nice. What can I do about it? Well, cut out cigarettes. Yeah, okay, yeah. That seems like a logical choice. A lot of people are doing that. Yeah, that seems good. What else? Okay. Do some exercise. Yeah. That's a good idea. Do some exercise. Yeah. What exercise should I do? Go running? Lift weights? Oh, I don't know. So, as you get older and you think about your mortality, exercise and your health are two of the big key motivators to help you feel like you're doing something to combat your mortality, to combat the pending day of death that comes towards us. Now, this is not a topic that people like to talk about. It's reality. We are all going to die. You can't get away from it. We are all going to die at some point. It's just no way of getting out of it. It is a scary topic. But we see unhealthy people and we think to ourselves, oh, you're not going to have a happy, peaceful later part of your life. I can see there's going to be problems for you in the future. And that's what we think when we see unhealthy people. So if we turned the tables and looked at ourselves in the mirror and think, okay, well, what could I do that is more healthy? Or ways to improve the throw of the dice, the flip of the roulette wheel, the chances and the risk for my longevity. I want to see grandchildren, don't I? I want to see grandchildren. I'd like to walk my daughter down the aisle and get married. What are the things I can do to give me the best chances of walking down the aisle with my daughter or playing with my grandchildren? What things can I do that's going to help my chances? Because again, it is just a game of risk. It is just pot luck. So, like I said, cutting out alcohol. That's what I do. You don't have to. You can do what you like. I cut out alcohol. I don't smoke and haven't done for 30 years. And then there's the things you eat. Not a lot of people want to talk about this, but plant-based diet is apparently, according to research, the best diet for longevity. Now, If you think about a gorilla, a rhino, an elephant, all the biggest, strongest mammals on the planet are all plant-based. Don't get me into talking about lions and carnivores and things like that. Apart from the fact they have night vision, very short entrails, and they like the smell of dead animals on the ground. Yeah. What you put in your body, not just food, but drinks as well. If you want to drink energy drinks and Red Bull or Monster and things like that, that's something that's definitely going to have an impact on your life. How far do you take it? How far do you go? I mean, if I had the money, I would eat 100% organic. But I don't have that money. And yes, it is about priorities. I prioritize having a happy, easy, stress-free life. But financially at the moment, I don't have the money to have 100% organic food. But hopefully in the future I will. Now, if you have organic food and maybe you have your own farm, maybe you have your own polytunnel, maybe you grow your own veg, which is something I would like to do in the future, then that's brilliant. That's definitely a way to go, isn't it? That's a way to guarantee there's no insecticides and pesticides and other nasty chemicals on your food. Organic. Grow your own. Guaranteed if you grow your own. So something else that I eat at the moment is a lot of rice and lentils, and then I mix other things with it to make it more tasty. But growing your own would be the best. That would be the ultimate, wouldn't it? But like I said, we don't all have that luxury, so that's not a possibility. So I think about not just the food that I eat or the drinks that I consume, but also what I put on my body. Because as you know, our bodies are porous, like an eggshell. They slowly take in what we put on them. So I never put on sun cream. We didn't use sun cream in the 60s and 50s and 40s. Sun cream is a chemical of, a toxin. What's the right term? A potion concocted of chemicals. Often some of them got some very nasty chemicals in there, some toxic and cancerous chemicals. There is another term for that, I can't remember now, but it's a potion to try and keep the sun off. But has some underlying studies to say that deodorants, especially with metals and zincs and things, and sun creams can cause cancer. Now, I'm not an expert, but I do know if you shave your armpit and then spray some chemicals in your armpit, which we know is very porous because we all sweat, you shave that and spray all these metal nasty chemicals into your armpit, the nearest organ to your armpit, if you're a woman, is your breast. So there may be a connection, a correlation, if you will, between 1970s when spray deodorant became very popular, women shaving their arms and using spray deodorant, and then the rise in breast cancer from the 1970s. Who knows? I'm not a scientist. It's just an interesting theory that I have. But that can be taken with other things as well. Whether you're talking about red meat or sun cream or energy drinks, anything that you put on your body or in your body can have an effect over many years. But that's down for you to decide. It's your body, it's your life. You need to make that decision. What is the balance that you're happy to deal with? Now, my mother smoked for many, many years and gave up in the last sort of 10 years of her life. And she was cycling, but she was still a little bit overweight. And she was cycling to and from work. And then COVID hit. My mum got COVID. And then my mum died. So that is a lot to take in for me. My mum was only 65. She hadn't retired. She was 65. She was a little bit overweight. cycling to work every day. And yeah, she caught COVID. So that was something I've had to deal with and yeah, try and move on from. Now, it's easy for me to judge now, and this is why I'm telling you, because I judge my mother for smoking most of her life, and she had what we call COPD, where her airways weren't as good as mine. I mean, although I smoked when I was young, I only smoked for like 15 years, and then I did a lot of running, half marathons and things like that. So I stretched and pushed my lungs in my post cigarette smoking career, whereas my mother hadn't. Although she was cycling, very gentle cycling, and she'd given up 10 years ago, she was still a little bit overweight and still had breathing issues. So, but that was her choice. She chose to be a little bit overweight. And unfortunately, when COVID come around, which is something new to us all, then that was probably the nail in the coffin, as we say, you know. But that was her choice. And I have to accept the fact that she was an adult. She chose to be a little bit overweight. She chose to be an ex-smoker and not make her lungs stronger. That was her choice. She was an adult. That's her choice. Does it make it easier for me and my siblings to deal with? You know, and in COVID, we couldn't visit either. Although Prince Charles visited his mum. Don't get me started. So, we all have to take responsibility for our own lives. And at some point, we have to think about our future. Do we want our children to have us around? Do we want our children to become older, more mature adults and see us as ambassadors for health and ambassadors for good choices? All right, it's not everybody's choice. A lot of people like eating takeaways 3 times a week and drinking alcohol because it numbs down the fact they've got a crappy life. But taking responsibility for your own life and your own choices of being healthy, making healthy decisions as much as you can afford and as much as you can do and as much as you can live with is a very personal thing. I sometimes feel like I could go further and I can do more. But it is a balance, and at the moment it's my choice of how much I'm capable of doing on a mental level as well. So, yes, I believe in striding towards being healthy as possible without overdoing it. You know, you've still got to have a work-life balance and, you know, care about your mental health as well. And that's another thing. Your mental health is another aspect that I've talked about in other videos in respect to what you consume, whether it's on the internet and Instagram and Facebook, these things that you consume, doom scrolling, they call it, doom scrolling. Constant negativity of looking through your phone of terrible things, trying to find the one good thing that cheers you up and makes you laugh. Oh yeah, that's funny, I'll share that with 5 of my friends. And then you have to go back for all that doom negativity about what we consume. Makes a real difference to our mentality and our energy levels, our mental energy levels, kind of like a battery of positive energy in our head. Right, okay, before I go on too much and get carried away and passionate, then I'll stop there. Let me know in the comments what you do for exercise, what you do for a balance of a healthy lifestyle. I'd like to know in the comments below. Oh, and if you got some enjoyment or some value out of this, please like and subscribe the video. And if you really, really like it and you want to help me out, you can go onto the website or you can go buymeacoffee.com. Second Class Hobos, buymeacoffee.com. That would help me out. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. You guys have a great week and I'll see you in the next video. I love you all. Bye-bye for now.